Hi everyone, in this video we are going to have a look at some of the properties of compact bone, and in particular we're going to have a look at the repeating functional unit of bone called osteons. Now essentially the osteons are the weight bearing pillars of bone, so they're able to bear weight. They also are sites in which we have blood vessels and nerves running through. So let's have a look at the structure of an osteon. So here we have, as an example, this is a long bone. So a long bone running along here, and we have within our long bone we have compact bone. So that's on the outside here. So this is our compact bone running along here, and then we also have our spongy bone. So that's running along the inside of this long bone, or this section of a long bone. So that's our trabeculae in there. So trabeculae. Now, running along the edge of the compact bone is the periosteum. That's the grey area, periosteum. And this is where we will find the cells, the osteoblasts, and the bone lining cells that help to build and maintain bone. Now, when we have a look at the structure of compact bone, what we can see is that they contain these osteons. So here is one individual osteon. And the osteon itself are all these like ring-like structures that look like, you know, kind of like the growth rings that you would see in a tree. And each of these individual rings that you can see, so you can see them here in this osteon, are called lamella. So an osteon also contains a central canal, and within that central canal we have nerves running through, and we also have blood vessels. So here we are able to get our blood supply as well as nerve signals into the actual bone. So the bone is being innervated. So that means it contains nerves and blood vessels. So the lamella of the osteons, what gives the osteon its structure or its properties in terms of being weight bearing, is these osteons actually contain collagen. So collagen, if you remember from your cells and tissues, is a fibre that provides a certain amount of tensile strength. So tensile strength to the bone. And the way that the collagen is arranged within an osteon is it's arranged in these layers that kind of are adjacent to each other, and it provides resistance against twisting forces. So if you're twisting, the way that the collagen is arranged will enable you to resist those forces. It also, within that collagen, the way that it's within that collagen, you'll find those calcium phosphate crystals. So that's going, remember that the calcium phosphate crystals give the bone its hard property. Okay, so what else have we got in compact bone? So we've also got our running, so this is our central canal here, running from an osteon. So that's our central canal. And we've got our blood vessels, so in the red and the blue, because we've got arteries and veins, and we've got our nerves in yellow, and they're running through the central canal, and then they branch off in what's called the perforating or Volkmann's canal. So what that's allowing, it's allowing those blood vessels and those nerves to get into the areas of spongy bone, so within that trabeculae, that honeycomb or lattice-like structure. I mentioned it before, we also have surrounding our compact bone, we have the periosteum, and that's where we get our, we have our osteoblasts and our bone lining cells, which help build and maintain bone. And then lining the inside of these osteons and also the trabeculae, we have got the endosteum lining. And so that's lining the canals as well as covering the trabeculae, and they also contain those osteoblasts and bone lining cells, and so they're going to help build and maintain the bone matrix, the bone. So build and maintain bone. Okay, so they're just some of the features of the osteon. There are a few more, but I feel that these are the important ones to think of. That we've got this osteon, which is this structure, big structure here. The rings are called lamellae. Within those we find the collagen fibres that provide the ability to resist the twisting forces. We've also got the calcium phosphate crystals in there that are going to give it that hard strength. We've got the blood and nerve vessels running down the central canal, and that will provide, or those blood vessels will be able to provide nutrients and fluids, but also be able to take away waste within the bone. And we've got the nerve supply as well, which will allow us to send and receive electrical signals within bone.